Here's the cheapest way to get an Xbox Series X. We now know the newest piece of Xbox hardware. And did you have trouble playing your games this past weekend? Let's discuss. And here to discuss with me once again, he is back, the man, Jimmy Champagne. He runs a little channel called Deck Ready and also PlayStation Ready. Also, if you want to pick up any new Xbox gear or maybe buy a Series X or S console for yourself, I have the links down in the description below.
So what do you got for me on the news docket today,
So,
Mr. Ray?
you might have heard about the situation. It's been quite controversial, caused quite the storm on Twitter, but over this past weekend, people had trouble playing their games on Xbox. It sparked a lot of debate over their DRM policies.
Yeah, dude, I saw all weekend on Twitter people like Jez Corden, my buddy Mr. Matty Plays, pretty much anyone I follow who makes any type of Xbox content was like, yeah, this is not a great situation. From what I understand, people just couldn't launch games, but it was affecting everyone differently.
It ranged significantly, and this is the problem, I think. There were some people like me who couldn't play certain games that were online. So me, I had bought Chivalry 2 over the weekend, and I was
Great
like,
game.
dope. I'm
Excellent
gonna jump into this. I kind of had this hole in my heart going on since I finished Elden Ring. So I wanted to say, and you know what? I'm gonna buy Chivalry 2, jump into it. Bought it, but could not play it. It kept telling me that I needed an online connection, a network connection to play this game, which made zero sense because I had just downloaded the whole game. How can I download a game?
So it let you spend money on the game. It let you download the game. And then when you tried to start it, it was like, nah, son, not today.
Yes, that is what happened. But what's confusing to me is that it, like you said, has affected everyone so differently. I feel from what I'm seeing on forums and on social media, and I posted a joke about it on my TikTok and Instagram, and people were reaching out to me saying I had no problems, I was playing all weekend, no issue. So this has been very confusing, but there were some incidents where people apparently couldn't play the digital games I have downloaded and bought, regardless if they were a single player game.
So I also saw that it kind of happens with disc games too, because of the weird authentication that Xbox has, and so few games now actually are coming on the disc. Xbox at certain points always has to check in with the internet to make sure you have the right to play that game. PlayStation, on the other hand, if your account, like your PSN account, is linked to your console, your digital games and your single player games will indefinitely work in most cases. There's certain cases like Diablo Resurrected where every 30 days you have to connect to the internet or that game won't work. Either way, this is not good, and there's no real way for Xbox to really recover without just fixing their DRM.
If you download a game that is single player only and you have to be always online to play that game, that's BS. That should not happen.
Right.
But for this, I'm not so sure like if this is even the heart of the issue, because there is sort of this element where people are saying, you know, it works if you set it to home, like that's your home console, but if you're trying to like
That's the same thing as
it up with
PlayStation.
yeah,
Like that's the exact same thing.
so
It
I'm
needs to be your
personally
primary.
not convinced that it is, you know, this huge issue that everyone's making it out to be. Yes, there is problems bubbling underneath, and there has been problems obviously since they announced some of this DRM stuff in the Xbox One era. So I'm not saying it's non-existent. I just don't think it's as big as a lot of people out there are saying, and that this is, you know, the nail in the coffin for Xbox.
Yeah, if it does need to check into the internet every X amount of time, that's bad. It just doesn't seem to be clear what situations you have with games where it needs to check into the cloud.
I wonder if it has something to do with, because we know that all your saves are synced up no matter the platform. So
Right.
it syncs up with
Which
the
is cool. It's a
cloud,
good
it syncs
feature.
up with remote play, it syncs up if
And
you're playing on your
PC,
phone.
the Game
and the
Pass app.
PC, yeah. So if you play a game on your Xbox and you play that same game on your PC, those saves are synced up together. You don't have to do any transferring or whatever, which is a cool feature, but I wonder if that connectivity is what has led to this problem.
That would make a lot of sense, and it seems to line up great with Microsoft's cloud focus, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. So yeah, like if they want to make sure that everything is always in sync, you always should, on their end, like I can see their logic here, be able to connect to the Xbox servers and get everything there. How long did it take to fix this? Like, is it fixed? You were playing Chivalry, so it's got to be at least
for me,
fixed.
it only lasted 1 or 2 hours.
People are saying like 36 hours.
Some people are saying 36 hours. Some people are saying they still can't play. They still can't do this. They still can't do that. But obviously the incidents where people couldn't play their digital games offline is what sparked this. Oh, Xbox, DRM. You know what? I'm just going to say, I think people are being unfair to Xbox. All these video game companies, they have server issues. Yeah. But when it happens to Microsoft Xbox, it's the end of the freaking world.
Well,
it's the end of the line.
Everything's Microsoft's fault. The PSN went down for an entire summer. Like,
I remember that. And do you remember when all those people, their information got leaked?
Yes, that was
something.
bad. I've been a PlayStation gamer a long time, and I've had a lot of bad stuff happen. Like, that outage sucked. And
The
Sony,
whole summer,
Sony
nuts,
closed
man.
developers because of it. Like, SOCOM 4 came out the week before the network went down for an entire summer. Primarily an online game. Like, that was a multiplayer only-ish SOCOM game. And all summer you couldn't play it. And Sony was like, yeah, Zipper failed to meet sales expectations on this game. But why would anyone buy it if they can't play it? Yeah, hopefully Microsoft is taking a long, hard look at how their DRM works, because I feel like it's always like they get really high up with their good PR, and then something stupid like this happens that people latch onto, and it just sets them back a little bit.
And give it 2 weeks. People will forget about it.
PlayStation will screw up in 2 weeks. We'll be talking about that on the
Nintendo will sue a fan for using their music or something, and people will focus on that. Speaking of cloud gaming, we have potentially the next generation of gaming. Sans hardware, so no hardware involved. You just take a little stick or a puck, plug it into your TV, or maybe you download an app on your TV, an Xbox Game Pass app, and you just play games through there. It's thought to have been in the works at Microsoft for a while. Jeff Grubb talked about it on his show.
It makes sense.
Right, and it was confirmed because I think last year at E3, Xbox talked about it, and some other executives have also confirmed. I have a quote. It's Liz Hamren, the CVP of Gaming Experiences platform. She says, "We're working with global TV manufacturers to embed the Game Pass experience directly into internet-connected TVs, so all you'll need to play is a controller. Beyond that, we're also developing standalone streaming devices that you can plug into your TV or monitor, so if you have a strong internet connection, you can stream your Xbox experience." I like how she threw in the fact that you need a strong internet, and that cracks me up every time because it's true. It's just true. If you try to play Halo on cloud gaming and you have crappy internet, it's game over before you even start, y'all. You are gonna get killed 25 times and maybe get 1 kill, not
it's
zero
so weird
assist.
how it changes from game to game too. Like, I tried Halo on my Steam Deck. I'm just gonna be real, ran like over the cloud, was not a playable experience. But then Fortnite last week, they added it for free to the cloud, so I was like, oh, this would be cool to check out for a Steam Deck video. It felt like playing it on the Steam Deck. Like, it was blew my mind. Like, yeah, I hate streaming, not a big fan of it. That made me like a semi-believer for 2 seconds. It was a really good experience.
Yeah, I have the same sort of experience. I'm a semi-believer. There are some times where I play Forza Horizon 5 where I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. It's rendering the world so quickly. It's very smooth, blah, blah, blah. And then there are other times I go, this is crap. But we all know that Xbox cloud gaming is still in its beta phase, really. So we haven't seen the true potential of cloud gaming. But this is really interesting because all we've known as gamers is you buy the console, you buy a disc, you put it in, and you play the game. And now we're living in this topsy-turvy world where you don't need a disc to play, you don't need a console to play. What is going on, and what do you think it means for the future, I guess?
I like that there's an option that's different, right? Like, Sony has PlayStation Now. They've done this before. Like, you could get Sony Bravia TVs that had PlayStation Now built in. It didn't work very well. It was like very blocky, very latency heavy. I mean, PS3 games max out at around 720p. So yeah, it wasn't a great experience. It's just funny that like Sony was ahead of the curve on this, and then they were like, we're done. Yeah. And then Xbox comes in with their cloud service that like actually works. And now Sony's probably sitting there like, dang, well, I guess we got to focus on the other way, which is good because we were getting to a point with the PS4 and the Xbox One. They were basically the same console, right? Like there was not really that big of a difference. Right. So I'm always for, you know, one side doing something completely different than the other side. And Xbox is leaning into what works for them, which is Game Pass and cloud streaming.
Right, and
makes a lot of sense.
I don't want Sony to copy that. Right.
I want
Sony
them to keep doing what they're doing.
Xbox, you keep doing what you're doing. Nintendo, whatever y'all keep doing, whatever the hell y'all are doing.
What are they building over there?
Yeah, and in a way, the whole options thing, that's what made the Switch so appealing in the first place. You could play it on the go, you could play it on your TV. That appeals to people in some way, and I'm glad that Xbox has picked up on that.
The thing that made me initially want an Xbox, like when I was mainly just on PlayStation and PC, was the fact that they promised this future where like every Xbox game, same time, PC and Xbox launch, you can transfer your saves. And it works pretty well. There's like very few games that it doesn't work with, Outer Worlds being one of them. And that's because it was published by 2K's weird private division thing before Xbox bought Obsidian and then took over the IP. So I'm going to give them a pass on that one. For Gears 5, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 5, pretty much every game I've played on Xbox, it's been awesome being able to just download the Xbox app on my PC, download the game I already bought once, and then have my saves transferred. That's the worst thing about these PC ports on PlayStation. They're old games, right? Like God of War just came out on PC. I 100% of that game on PS4. I would have really liked to do a new game plus, but there's no save transferring, which is crazy. Now, allegedly, Sony's working on their own launcher where you're going to be able to transfer your saves, download the games you already bought once, but they don't have that right now, and Xbox does. I think that's cool.
Overall, I like the streaming stick. I like the idea of the Xbox app on the TV, on your laptop, on whatever that you can stream directly to. I like the idea of not having to spend $500 on a console, $300 on a console if I want to play those games. Yeah, especially when there's a shortage going on. I like the idea that I could play on my Xbox, and then, if a buddy of mine comes over, we don't need another Xbox to play. I could just, we can play a co-op game or something like that. He's playing on streaming, whatever Xbox stick, and I'm playing on my console.
It's such a good gateway. If they price it right, like if this thing's like $50, $25, it could just make new Xbox fans, right? Like you say, okay, well, I can't get a PS5 right now, and your options are like a PS4 or an Xbox Series S, which is still $300. And then you go, oh, I can get this streaming stick for like what, $25, $50. I plug that into my TV, make an Xbox account, subscribe to Game Pass. All of your games are available right there on the cloud. Then if you're like, all right, I like this thing, I like this Xbox ecosystem, I want to upgrade to a big boy console, you can go buy a new console, and everything's there.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Transfer over. With the need for the internet in order to make a good internet connection, obviously that's not going to be for everyone, but for those, I think it's a good option. I'm just going to say it again. I think it's a good option.
And for people who want to spend even less on a grown-up console, it seems like they have another new option from Xbox.
We have refurbished Xbox Series X consoles being sold directly by Xbox Microsoft. It is a discount that will save you $30, I believe. It's coming in at $470 versus the usual $500 for the Xbox Series X. And if you want to check it out for yourself, we have the link down in the description, actually. And they seem to be in stock and available, but obviously buying used tech, it has its risks. It's not ideal. What do you think about the whole situation?
I think this is better than what I did. I bought it from GameStop, and their refurbishment, a little bit sus. Like, I don't know. I don't think they did
the dust off of it.
Yeah, I think they just blew it out
go.
with some compressed air. It seems like Microsoft, though, when they refurbish stuff, they basically take it apart and put it back together. And anything that's even a little bit faulty, they kind of fix and replace. I wouldn't worry too much about this. And you also definitely get a decent warranty when you buy it directly from Microsoft.
Yes, it is a full year warranty, 12-month warranty that comes with this refurbished console still.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, you're still saving $30, and it seems like these things are popping up with a little bit more availability than just getting one in the store.
Right, this seems to be the lowest risk when it comes to buying a used console, buying directly from Xbox. That's certainly somewhat reassuring, I would say. I've only ever had to send in my Xbox one time, and that was the 360 era. You already know what I'm going to say. The Red Ring of Death.
I had to do that too with the original Xbox that I bought used.
But they didn't actually fix mine. They just sent me a whole new console.
So where are they getting these units that they're refurbishing? Like, are people's Xboxes breaking en masse so they have enough to like sell?
That's the most questionable part, I would say, about this.
I was going to praise Xbox for doing this while Sony isn't, but I don't know.
Well, of course you're going to have people in the comments, people on Twitter, people on social media saying, well, nobody wants their Xbox, so they're sending it back. I don't don't think there's, again, a wide conspiracy here. They're being refurbished by Xbox themselves. So I have to imagine that the people who are returning them or whatever, they bought them from Xbox and they shipped them back in, and maybe Xbox couldn't fix them, and they
yeah, that makes a lot of sense
that they
to
could
me.
fix, they put them out. I don't know.
They take this stockpile probably of like Xboxes that they've gotten returned for accidental damage or whatever, and they go, oh, this one only needs an HDMI port. That's an easy fix. Just solder up. And then they send that one out as a refurbished unit. It makes sense to me. I mean, if you're worried about getting a used one though, we put links for everything in the description, so we have links to new ones, which is cool.
Especially at Best Buy, apparently. People have been having a lot of luck getting Xbox Series X consoles, especially with their app. They just, I can't remember what people are doing. The toggle trick.
You can flip off your location.
What is
for,
available,
in-store.
and then in-store availability, you toggle that off, and then it shows you all the things that I think the consoles that people didn't pick up for whatever reason. So yeah, I would definitely try the Best Buy app. We have the link down for that in the description.
I buy stuff refurbished on Amazon a lot of the time, but you know what's weird? They sell refurbished earbuds on Amazon, like Galaxy Buds and AirPods. That's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna buy a refurbished thing that was in someone's ear. That's disgusting.
No. For a hot second, I debated buying used shoes. And I said, I can't do that, man. I can't do that.
What were you saving, like $20?
I was trying to score some deals, but I ended up just buying full price.
So the point here is, it's good that Xbox is giving people a lot of different ways to buy an Xbox, get sucked into the ecosystem of Game Pass so they become a subscriber for life. Sony's option is you can't find the PS5.
Yeah. Well,
they're like, good luck finding this console.
This is the option for Xbox. They want people to buy these newer consoles because the Xbox One generation was not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want them to upgrade from Xbox One or buy into the ecosystem, like you said, for the first time with these next-gen consoles. So yeah, I feel like they're getting pretty crafty with it and trying to get these current-gen consoles into the hands of their customers.